Welcome back to the Triple Play for our sixth episode. Today we have Kassidy. Thank you for coming.
Oh, thank you. It's an honor.
I'm so glad that we could finally meet. I know we've been trying to plan it for a while.
Yes.
Yeah, let's give them a little intro about you.
Okay, I had a ruptured brain aneurysm and a stroke 16 years ago. So I've been through a lot, but that doesn't stop me from pushing forward.
How old were you?
I was 13.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Was it random? Did you know about it?
It was very random.
Oh, wow. So what happened afterwards?
Afterwards, I had a full-on bleed in my cerebellum, which
Okay.
is the bottom part of your head. It regulates like your balance and coordination. So I do use a walker, and that does help me with my balance, but my ataxia, we're not very much friends, me and my ataxia, because I'm always moving and it gets in the way. But that's what makes me unique. That's what makes me unordinary. And just having a limitation that people can physically see, is it's yes, it's kind of it puts a damper on your outlook, but once you get comfortable in your own skin, that's when miracles start to happen and you start to see life in a whole new manner.
So, so when you were 13 and you had your brain aneurysm, I remember we talked about it before. You said you were in a coma, right?
For 4.5 months.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
And you just randomly woke up? How did that occur?
So people think this all the time, and it gets me kind of worked up. But a lot of people base comas on what they see in movies, where they just like wake up, they gasp, and they wake up. But that's, in my experience, that's really not what happens. So there's 8 different stages to a coma, and I came home probably in about stage 6, I would say. So I was still in a coma when they brought me home.
Oh, wow.
But I was in the hospital for such a long time that they said that maybe the best thing for her would be to go home. So that's what my family did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And yes, it was the greatest thing.
Oh, that's awesome. So it was such a young age when all of this happened. What were some of the challenges physically, mentally, right out of the coma and when you were trying to get back to your normal life and coping with your limitations?
I'd say that some of the challenges due to this would be probably the stares that people put on you because you're different than them. And now those don't, yes, I take that back. Yes, they always still get to me, but early on in my accident is when the stares and the talking about me and the silly questions that people would ask, I didn't know how to handle it because I was still coping with my own body.
Yep.
How would I cope with other people not knowing what to say? So that was hard. I learned how to bite my tongue a lot, which is good. But yes, and now I I'm comfortable in my own body, yes. And now those stares, I just look at people and say to myself
Mm-hmm.
of I am I'm just doing me. I can't be anyone else. Why would I try to be something I'm not?
Mm-hmm. So how did you accept that?
Except what?
Not to take what they're doing and saying personally and being comfortable within yourself and just operating in like I know who I am and I don't have to explain myself to anyone. Was there anything in particular that helped you move on that path?
Helping to move on that path would probably be just knowing that there's more, knowing that there's hope,
Mm-hmm.
knowing that Christ has me in the palm of his hand,
Mm-hmm.
and that I have a purpose here on this earth despite what I'm going through.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it deters me from doing certain things, but there's other things that I can do that are suitable for what I'm going through.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. What are some of those things that were suitable for what you were going through?
I would say being a light, being doing a lot of research to find those dark, or I mean, those hidden, deep hidden questions and answers that people kind of gloss over
Mm-hmm.
that I want to seek out and help them in a way that they are ignorant of and they just look past because it might be too hard. But I mean, I have a heart to want to help
Mm-hmm.
them, not to get the glory, but to give Christ the glory for the the knowledge that he's brought me
Mm-hmm.
and to help other people.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I know what brought us here today is Rival Coffee.
Yeah.
They want to sponsor getting your book published. Tell me about your book.
My book. So my book is really a I first off, I always say that this is God's story that happened to me that my friends and family remember. So I have a lot of stories that happened, but I don't necessarily remember.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just retelling the stories that they've told.
Okay.
But ultimately, this is God's story because He gets all the glory in this. And I just look to Him
Mm-hmm.
for everything that does happen.
Yeah. So what's like the theme message or oh yeah, the overarching theme of your book? What's a part of your legacy and like what you want to pass on through the book?
Hope.
Mm.
Because so many people look at obstacles and they look at challenges as as a form of stopping them,
Mm-hmm.
or because it's too hard, or they don't want to spend the time to work through that.
Mm-hmm.
But when we look to those challenges and those trials and those obstacles, we can find our true purpose and our true calling in those obstacles.
Yeah, I it's funny you say that. I a couple weeks ago in church, I go to Center Point in Marietta, and the theme for the last couple months is called growing pains. And the pastor talked about how, we have to we all have to deal with pain. We all go through things, but we have to extract the pieces of it that are going to teach us and find the positives and find things that you can learn from and then move forward. It'll help you go through those growing pains.
Okay.
I feel like it's exactly what you said about your
I
book too.
I like what you just said. Yes.
I love that. Okay. How far are you in your book?
I so I am done with my portion.
Okay.
I'm just waiting for others' inputs.
Okay, so that's right. You said that you have your friends and family helping you write the stories to include in the book.
It's kind of like their perspective of what they went through and what they witnessed.
Yeah.
It's all gonna be wrapped in.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. That's awesome. Um, and you mentioned a show before too, right? Or a movie? Movie or a show?
I am praying for two things. I'm praying for number one, for this book to become a bestseller,
Mm-hmm.
and number two, this book to soon be turned into a movie. So I'm praying for that.
Yes.
But it's not in my will, that's in the Lord's will. So we'll see what happens.
For sure.
It's in His hands.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, so I want to kind of go back to, I started thinking about, I asked you kind of your challenges when you were younger, but it's been 16 years since that happened. So, as you've gotten older into your adult age, what has helped you through all of the different challenges you've experienced?
Oh, there's so many. Where do I start?
What was the most impactful? What's the first one that comes to mind?
Oh, you can't ask me
I
that.
remember a horse.
Well, yes, but before that, there was a dog.
Okay.
I call him my son.
What was your son's name?
Chase.
Chase.
He literally had angel wings on
Oh.
him and a halo, but he actually helped me to speak in sentences.
Okay.
The most crazy thing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
How old were you?
I was 14,
Okay.
15.
So this was right after the
Yes.
accident. Okay.
Yes. 15.
15.
Yes. Yes.
So he helped you a lot.
A lot.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. So he went through the same we were just talking about how you were looking for another support animal. Was it kind of similar? He did training like that?
So he, that this is a lengthy story, but I was
I'm here for
actually
it.
paired with a wiry golden doodle
Okay.
before Chase. And during that 2 week period when we were team training, is when I was working with this golden doodle, and Chase was like across the room with an older gentleman. He was a veteran.
Okay.
And so, but Chase, he kept like looking at me and veering toward me, and
You could feel the connection.
well, I couldn't,
but
but
the
because
dog.
I was focusing on the golden doodle and doing what I was instructed to do. But the founder, she noticed that Chase was wanting to go toward me, so she paired us together, and that's when sparks started flying.
Oh, wow. That's amazing. How long did you have him?
14 and a half years.
Oh, wow. That's a long time.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yes.
Oh, that's amazing.
He was incredible.
Oh, I love that so much. So I mentioned horse. Let's talk about that.
Okay. So, oh my love language. Yes. So I first started riding horses we'll say 6 to 9, and I really started to get into barrel racing
Yeah.
because I loved speed and I loved horses and just all of that. So I got into that, and then I took some time off because I was in taekwondo, getting into taekwondo, that's another story. But yeah, back to the horse. I took some time off because I was getting in taekwondo, and then I got my black belt in taekwondo at 12, and then I had my incident at 13.
Okay, yeah.
And then I went back to taekwondo to get my second degree. And then I did some, and then I was done with taekwondo, and I did hippotherapy.
What's that?
I'm sorry, horse therapy.
Okay.
And for about a year, and then I stopped that and really focused on my minute recovery. And then I just started back at horse riding, just in general, no therapies whatsoever, and it's just been my absolute love. I want to do it every day. I want to be there right now.
Go right after this.
Yeah, we'll interview on the horse.
Yeah, that's a good
next
idea.
time.
We can make that happen.
Horse interview.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, that's awesome. How often do you go?
So right now, it's kind of a wonky story. Right now, I'm kind of in between barns, but I actually just found one down the street, so I'll be
That's convenient.
riding next Wednesday.
Oh.
So I typically go once a week for right now, but hopefully in the future it'll be more.
Yeah. You need your own horse.
Too much work.
That's true.
But
The
it's
grooming.
been a great way of therapy for like the core and for all of it. It just teaches resiliency and drive and passion.
What do you feel when you're riding the horses?
What I feel independence.
I remember when we talked about it, you also mentioned it's like that activity you can do where time just flies by and you just like feel free, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's how I feel as well when I'm painting or drawing. I just zone out.
Yes.
And it's like 4 hours later, I'm like, oh, wow.
Same.
Yeah.
Same. Yeah.
That's awesome. Has there been anything else that has helped you in those same ways?
I was getting to the story of taekwondo.
Yes.
So, yes, that has been a huge part of who I am today. Just respect, integrity, commitment, determination, every good, powerful word. That's what taekwondo teaches you.
Yeah.
Yes.
So those, would you say those are some of your core values?
I would say yes, for sure.
So how often do you do taekwondo?
Oh, right now I'm not in it,
Okay.
but I do have my second degree black belt,
Yeah.
and my nephew, he's 3, almost 4, but he actually just started at the same studio.
Oh, how cute. I bet
Yeah.
you're excited to watch him.
Oh, yes.
That's awesome.
Yes.
I have a 5-year-old and a 4-year-old. They just asked to go into gymnastics, but I was thinking about putting them in taekwondo too.
Oh, I so promote taekwondo for girls.
Yeah.
Because just to learn how to protect themselves, talk to their parents, their elders in general,
Yeah.
it's phenomenal.
Yeah, the way it instills those values. You were
Goal
just talking
setting,
about.
yes.
Oh, goal setting. Yeah, that's a good one too.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. That's awesome. What about anything else other than taekwondo? Did you write? I mentioned that because you're writing your book right now. So I wasn't sure if you journaled or
So the crazy thing, I did not like writing whatsoever at all.
yeah.
And so God really took his words and wrote through me because I I am not a writer. Yeah, he just I was writing this book and it was so easy and so delicate. Like I easily wrote 150 pages like nothing.
Wow.
Yeah. And now I'm just like, okay, you're writing. Writing is a chore. I don't want to say a chore, but it just takes more effort. But I mean, he wrote this book through me.
Okay. Okay. Do you have a timeline of when your goal launch of your book is?
My goal is before the end of the year, but I mean, this is all in God's timing. But that is really something I'm praying for.
Yeah.
Is the time of when it wants to be published. Yeah.
Okay. So, we were talking about how finding your path with God was really life changing for you. How did that journey begin? And then what role did faith play?
I would say my journey began when I was a baby. I grew up in a Christian household. I knew of God, but I was lacking that personal commitment because it really wasn't mine. I was operating under my parents and my family's values, which was phenomenal, but I was lacking that commitment, relationship of myself to the Lord. So when I was 18, so get this, on my 18th birthday, becoming an adult, at the exact time that I was born, 12:50 in the afternoon, is when I got baptized.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Wow.
So the exact time, it was phenomenal.
Was it planned?
It was,
Okay.
yes.
That's awesome. Okay.
Yes.
Were you baptized as a baby?
I was dedicated.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Sprinkled. What do they call it? Yeah, dedicated.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So, do you go to a church local?
I go to Living Stones.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yes.
That's awesome. Okay, so how has faith played a role in, the last 16 years for you?
That is a big question. Oh. Well, first of all, I can't do anything without Christ by my side. Absolutely nothing. Every day is different. With my walking and with the heat that makes a difference outside the barometric pressures of life. So I spend a lot of time in the AC. But I mean, it doesn't stop me from getting out there and talking to people and being around people and doing what I need to do. Nothing is worth stopping your life for.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You also have your Instagram. I just thought about that.
Yes.
Coffee with Cass.
Yes.
So I just recently followed you on my personal account and started seeing, your posts.
Yes.
You love going to coffee shops, and I feel like you kind of mentioned it, one of the main things you love to do is connect.
Yes.
And you're doing that through your Instagram and even now with your book and eventually your movie.
Praying for
Yeah, we are.
Yes.
So is that kind of your intention, is to continue being a light and sharing God's word and your experience through your Instagram and things like that?
Exactly. Yes. My Instagram is mainly food for right now. I just I make a lot of my own foods because I personally I don't like to fill myself with those seed oils and the additives. I've had a lot of gut issues with medication,
Yeah.
so I tend to stay away from those foods, and that has worked wonders. So yeah, God given nutrition all the way.
Yeah.
Yes.
I did the same a few years ago. I started keeping an eye on what ingredients are actually in products, and I cut out so many things, and I found different brands too that don't have preservatives and actual ingredients listed versus weird chemical names.
Right, right.
And it made the biggest difference. Like I feel like I just had more energy and not bloated and things
Good.
like that. So now my kids eat like that too.
Oh, that's
And I'm glad
wonderful.
I'm like changing that.
Bring them up right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Yeah. So you love coffee, right?
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yes.
What are some of your favorite local coffee shops?
All of the above.
I know,
All
right?
in the Temecula Murrieta area. I like Rise to Grind, Better Buzz, Intaza Rival. Liquid Leaf is one of my
I
favorites for
love liquid leaf.
matcha.
Yeah.
Just all of the coffee shops around here.
When you go to the coffee shops, do you talk to a lot of people and connect with them?
If they talk to me, I mean, I I work on my computer and I like write. That's my Jesus time. So I spend my morning with him on my iPad and I read the word. And if someone talks to me, okay, I'll talk to them.
Yeah.
But I mean, selfishly, that's my time.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. So also through your faith, you found a passion for writing in that sense. I know you said you didn't like writing as much before.
I guess.
Yeah,
I guess.
that's good.
I haven't thought about that.
I mean, you just do it naturally, right? It's just
Yeah.
something that you built into your routine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hmm?
Okay. So, in writing your book, I know we mentioned that you weren't a fan of writing before. You wrote all 150 pages in one sitting?
No, no.
Okay.
No.
I was going to ask what your writing process was like.
No. So I got to 80 pages and I was like, "Oh, wow, this is really good." And then I just kept on it and kept on it and kept on it and God just wrote everything to me and brought to remembrance or is bringing to remembrance and I've incorporated a lot of like scripture and what it actually means to me and it digs down deep of like hidden meanings and yeah, it's all good.
Yeah. Okay. The theme you said is hope. What do you hope readers will take away from the book as a layer on top of the hope?
As a layer on top of the hope. Okay, so you see me. I am a I don't play around. I am a matter of fact person. I don't like to add fluff. I don't care to add fluff. So when I say to bring hope, I mean to tell people that there's more to life than what they see. And that goes for absolutely anybody. That there's more to, we'll start with people. There is more to a person than you actually see firsthand. So, for instance, me, because I'm the easiest one, but you see me coming in with my walker, coming in shaking. Am I smart? I'm pretty smart. I would say I'm pretty smart. But some people think otherwise because I may be shaking. I may not walk in a straight line. People think I'm drunk all the time because I slur my words and I can't walk straight. But you know what? I don't give a hoot. I'm me. Yeah.
Yeah. Right before we started recording this, we were talking about reality shows, and the one that I brought up was Love is Blind.
Yes.
And that's essentially what the concept is there's a wall in between them. They don't know what each other looks like. And for days or weeks, I don't know how long, they just spend the time getting to know each other. Purely just conversation. They have no idea what each other looks like. And majority of the time they end up falling in love because they got to know them as a person as opposed to what they look like on the outside. It aligns with that perfectly.
So if you're saying that I should go on that show, I'm not. So we're just gonna stick with real life, okay?
I agree. Yeah,
Okay.
don't go on the show.
Okay, thank you.
No, don't go on the show. But I think it just is a good another way of saying like don't judge a book by its cover.
Yes.
Yeah.
Perfect. You wrapped it all up.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's kind of what again your the message you want to get across is being who you are and I lost my train of thought. Being
who you are.
And
yes, be who you are. That's right.
Exactly.
Authenticity.
Yeah.
Authenticity is the best thing. Yes.
Yes.
It's an ongoing journey, but being who you were called to be, being who you were created to be, it puts things into perspective. Yes.
Right before I came here, I was doing a few pages out of my Bible study, and this one's all about Amos, I think.
Sure.
He is a prophet, and it was asking questions. It was relating to one of the Bible verses. I think the name is Amaziah, but basically he was questioning Amos and was saying, just questioning him, doubting him, and the question was like, how would you respond in a situation like that? How would you feel and how would you respond? And most people was fight or flight mode. But Amos in that situation just was like, this is who I am. I don't know what to tell you, but like this is what God called me to be, so I'm gonna show up as this person. And I was like, oh wow.
I have to read that book.
Yeah, you do. It's a good one. I'll send it to you.
So here's a little pop quiz for you.
Oh no.
No.
I'm terrified.
Just a question.
Okay.
But do you know what the name almost means?
No.
Bird and bear.
Oh, interesting.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
I read about that and I was like, that puts things into perspective.
Yeah. What does that mean to you?
Bird and bear, that almost is kind of like, yes, he takes the brunt of the litter and he can really, he not only takes the hard things on, but he is himself despite being in conflict, despite being in challenging situations.
Yeah. Do you feel like in challenging situations, I don't know if you've recently been in like a conflict or a debate or anything like that, it kind of goes with, people working, I mean, me personally, not emotionally reacting to things
Okay.
and taking a step back and thinking about it. Kind of what Amos did as well is like showing up as who you are. And a layer on top of that too is in the same Bible study it talks about like, using good words, using kind words, being encouraging, and like making sure that you're speaking in the way that God wants you to. So,
Yeah.
in those situations, how do you react? Do you feel like you use God before you speak?
Define the situation.
It could be anything.
Because I want to say yes, but I am human. So, I mean, the first thought always is worry. How am I going to get through this? But I'm like, oh, yeah, I have God. I'll use him. I'll go with him because he is the answer already. So why not fall into his arms? I mean, we can't be reliant on ourselves because we are human. So look to God. That's all I have to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Yes.
Obviously, with the partnership of Rival and the coffee shops you go to and connections you make, how has community impacted your life?
Community. Wow, that's a big statement too. But Rival has forever been a supporter for not only me, but the whole community, which is phenomenal. I've known the Rival staff and most of them and Ryan for years and years.
Yeah.
And it's just been phenomenal to know them and to see them and promote them and care for them and just help them out in any way I can. Yeah, and then also there's a local charity in Temecula. It's called Charity for Charity. And they are a huge supporter as well. They're a wish fulfilling organization that caters to traumatic illnesses and life threatening injury. Or the opposite. I always get that confused. But they're pretty much like family. So Rival is definitely a big proponent, and Charity for Charity is. And just anyone that is in my tribe, is definitely part of my community. Yeah.
Would you say that you are more independent or more community oriented?
I'm independent in the community orient. If that makes sense.
Explain a little bit.
What do you mean?
So for me, well, I guess another way to put it is like I'm kind of an extroverted introvert. Naturally, I really love my alone time. But I also love people and like talking to people and networking events. But it also at the same time, I go home and I'm like in my cocoon, you know?
You're drained. I get it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Are you the same way?
Same way.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Take
Okay.
me home.
Yeah.
I want my bed. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. What are some of your future plans? And besides the book and the movie we already talked about, do you have any other future plans?
Yes. I hopefully want to say that there's a second book coming. I don't know for certain about that. Another goal that I'm literally head over heels in love and passion is getting a tiny container home.
Ooh, okay.
And having that and living on my own. That is the biggest thing that I would love to pursue. I look at container homes all the time and I'm just like, ooh, that's a good idea. Ooh, That's a good
I
idea.
love
But
seeing all the hacks, like the videos, the
yes.
cool little things they do because it's a smaller space, so you have to kind of come up with strategic ideas. Maybe it's like the table that folds up on the wall or things like that. I love
Yes.
those videos too.
Yes. But
Okay.
that is my goal.
Okay. What do you have to put in place to get there?
I don't know.
Just make it happen.
Yeah, make it happen. You
Yeah.
do it. No idea. All I know is I need land
Mhm.
to put it, but that's all.
Yeah.
So
Sounds
we'll
easy
see what
enough.
God has up his sleeve
Yeah.
because I just want land and put the container home on and call
Mhm.
it a day.
Mhm. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have anything else you want to share?
Oh.
I ran through all my questions.
I do want to speak on love. And
Okay.
referring back to my service dogs,
Yeah.
love is a big word because, yes, we think of like love as in like a brotherly love or
Mhm.
compassionate love that
Mhm.
we need to share to all the people around us. But the thing is, I want to refer us to being a dog or being an animal
Mhm.
because, like it says in my book, dogs and animals, they love without words. So why don't people do that as much? And so I have a strong inkling to loving without words.
Mhm.
I mean, yes, I am a talker. I do talk, but I can also be very silent.
Mhm.
And that,
Actions
so,
speak louder than words.
yes.
Mhm.
Yes, some people think that, like, oh, she doesn't like me. Oh, something's wrong with her. But no, I, I'm loving without words.
Mhm.
And love has a big proponent in my life.
In what ways? Or expand on that.
Just the love that Christ has not only shown for me in my situation,
Mhm.
but also for my family life and everything that I've had to go through and everything that they've had to go through and what He's put in my path to propel me forward
Mhm.
in order to get to where I am today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a good point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel like it me personally when I've been in situations where it's contradicting when someone says I love you,
Mm.
but then the actions say otherwise.
Yes.
And so I think that it doesn't matter what anybody says, you can say anything, but what matters is what you're doing
Mm-hmm.
following that or before that, how you treat people. Because again, you can say whatever you want. What matters is how you treat people.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So I think again, you are all about connecting and serving others, right?
Not to the extent of hurting myself
That's a
or
good point. Hmm.
deterring myself,
Yeah.
but yes.
Oh, for sure.
I want to say yes.
We have to have boundaries.
Cuz you can't exert yourself to or you can't, what is that saying? You can't bring people joy from an empty cup. You have to fill
Yep.
yourself up
Hmm.
first.
First, yeah,
Yes,
for
it's like
sure.
the oxygen mask
Hmm.
before
Putting
your
on the
your
child.
neighbor.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
have to fill yourself up.
Hmm.
Yeah.
How do you? What are ways that you fill yourself up before you pour into others?
Hmm. Okay, you're gonna think I'm crazy. No. I really know how to I know when I need to clear my head. So I am like, okay, I need a beach day just to sit on the sand, not talk to anyone, nothing. Or I need to go to the ranch and just go on a horse or just go on the dirt and not talk to anyone. Just sit on the bench under a tree and just watch horses because it's just so, for me it's elevating and it's just peaceful.
Yeah. The beach, I'm the same way with the beach.
Okay.
When I'm going through something or I need alone time, I'm like, the beach.
Well, yeah, it's not just needing alone time. It's just that new ideas, new perspectives,
Yeah.
new everything, new brain.
It boosts your creativity.
Yeah.
You can like come up with more ideas. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
That's a good point. I have one of my best friends will go to this hookah lounge in San Diego every once in a while
Okay.
and just sit there for hours and just like spit ideas at each other, and it's the most fulfilling thing.
Oh, I bet.
Oh, it's the best. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, I can relate for sure.
Oh, yeah, I bet.
Yeah. When you are at the beach or under a tree or sitting with the horses, what do you think about? What are some of the ideas or things that come to mind?
Ooh, that's a very deep question. I wasn't prepared for that.
That's okay if you aren't. Maybe you brainstorm about your book or your container home. Do you think
Maybe.
about your relationships, your friendships in your life?
All of the above. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that makes sense. Same here. I think when I'm doing those things like the beach or the example I gave of the hookah lounge, I'm always thinking about, if I'm thinking about business, it'll be how can I improve? Where am I lacking?
Yeah.
What can I do better? How can I help more people?
Okay.
And then with my friendships or the relationships in my life, I'm always thinking about what can I do to better serve them again? Or
Yeah.
how could I have, shown up better in that situation?
Okay. Interesting. Yeah, something that came to mind was like, how can I better myself? How can I bring more, how can I help more people? Or how can I serve others better? Despite what I'm going through. I mean, yes, some people have that agitation to not want to accept help because I am going through a lot, but to flip it around, I do consciously want to serve and I do want to help. I I may mess up. I may do things different than the ordinary person, but if you just do the dang thing and you sit down and you say, I am here to better serve you. I want to pour into your life. Please accept the help.
I struggle with that too, accepting help. That's a hard one.
Well, we're all kind of independent
Yeah.
in that fact.
Yeah. Definitely. I feel like I've just operated on my own for so long. I feel like I had to grow up at a young age, and then especially being a single mom, I'm just like, I don't need any help. I can handle it. So now I'm working on delegating because I can't do everything. I'm only one person. I
Yeah.
can relate for sure.
Yes.
I just want to thank you again for coming today.
No, thank you.
I'm so happy we finally got to talk. And I'm looking forward to launching this. I do want to remind anyone who's listening that Rival Coffee is helping raise money to get Kassidy's book published. So you can download the Rad Perks app and go to the Support Kassidy page on the left side of the app. The goal is to raise $3,000, and there's going to be 5 options to donate. So please do, so we can help get her book published. Thank you, Kassidy.
Thank you.